You're one of the most prolific artists I've ever known, if not the most prolific. I've counted 62 albums by the legendary Pink Dots and about as many solo albums and more releases with Tear Garden and Mimmer. So my question is, how do you do it?
I have no idea how many albums there are, really. I mean, I must be honest. I mean, I haven't actually counted them myself, but I mean, it's just, I mean, it's what I do, you know. It's like I work on music actually pretty much every day. It's not something you. It's not a job. It's more of a calling, really.
Yeah,
And it is just something that it's been my life for the last 45 years. I mean, I'm immersed in it. I swim in it, and you know that's the result of a great outpouring, basically.
right. Well, it's like no other. So you turned 18 in 1972 and formed the legendary Pink Dots in 1980. What did you do for most of the 70s?
There was a band before the legendary Pink Dots, which I sort of I had in school, um, called Vision Lader, and we did some recordings. Even cassettes exist of these recordings, but unfortunately, my particular cassette disappeared. I'm in touch with one of the former members. I'm hoping somewhere along the line to persuade him to sort of like make a dub of that cassette that he still has. Although who knows, it might have fallen apart by now. And so at least to let people hear it, not an official release or something like that. I mean, we were teenagers dabbling around, but it was like an embryonic Pink Dots in many ways.
Yeah. Okay. What was the name of the band?
It's a very, very complicated name. It's like Vizzyyn. It's the first word, and Laedyr, the second name. I've no idea really. It's 70s stuff, you know.
Okay. I'll take your word for that. So you have so much material. How do you decide what to play live?
We're very focused on what's what's current, what thrills us right now, and inevitably the new album is the one that creates the most excitement because it's the one we've just been working on, and it has the potential to sort of, you know, when you go out on the road, to open up new avenues in the songs, and for the songs to change and metamorphosize here and there. You know, in some ways, the album is the egg, and the tour is the omelette.
Okay. Never heard that one before. Um, so when you came up with the name, or you and your bandmates in 1980 came up with the name, the legendary Pink Dots, did you ever imagine that you'd actually become legendary?
I mean, the legendary was always humor. It was never serious, and I cannot possibly say that we're legendary now. It's sort of like you know we're a classic cult band in many ways, and actually kind of happy for it to be a cult band. It's nice. It allows us to have like more direct communication with the people who like the music and follow us, and it allows us to be in control of whatever we do. Because we've never signed a long-term contract with any label. We've always retained the right to release what we want with whoever we want. But we're very loyal to labels we like. Basically, it works that way.
Yeah. Well, I would say you're legendary. You've been around for 45 years and it's amazing. Just the amount of material you've put out and the quality of the albums. So I will always think of you as legendary.
Thank you.
What's the purpose of releasing solo albums when you've got your own band?
Initially, it's because Uh, I have, it is. You said the word. It's a band, and actually, it's always been a band. Um, so a band would decide on what happens in the music, over years and years and years. But there are some things that I just wanted to sort of have like 100% control upon, and I mean that's the case now. You know, all the new material is not me alone. It's the three of us, working, very closely together, and deciding on the direction. It's actually one of the most creative times I can ever remember in the Pink Dots, where you know the music is really coming from three, sort of like from all angles, basically inside the band. Everybody composes, everybody, is part of this.
How long has your guitar player been with you?
Eric, let me think. I think it was 3, 4 years plus another. Yeah, it's coming up for 20 years actually. All he joined way back in 2003, I think. Was there for a few years. Left the game, but came back in 2010 and has been there ever since. And
Okay,
Eric is just a joy to work with. He will always surprise you if you come up with the initial song. He will take it somewhere that you never dreamed was possible.
cool. And then I met Randall after your Phoenix show. I think that was his name. Your
Random.
keyboardist. Yeah. And he sounded American. Uh,
That's right.
yeah. It, does he now live in England? And
We're actually based in 3 European countries right now. Randall's actually in Italy.
okay,
I'm in the UK, and Eric is in the Netherlands, and Yupu Mixes us is also in the Netherlands. And it, basically, it's very cheap to fly between countries. So the guys will fly to me in London,
I
and
see.
we do a lot of things there. We inevitably do a lot through cyberspace as well, because that's the time we live in. It makes things a lot simpler. The communication is much more, you know, constant.
Yeah. Well, you recorded an album with Amanda Palmer, who I believe was a fan of yours when she was growing up.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that come about, and what was that experience like?
It's just something we talked about doing for many years, because the man is a dear friend, and it did. There seemed that it was just a case of opportunity, and it's like after maybe a decade of talking about we must make an album together, finally that opportunity arose. Amanda was in London, and Imogen Heap kindly allowed us to use her studio space. So me and Amanda just went in there, just the two of us, and just it was a joy actually. To we just basically did everything together, and sort of like writing the songs from scratch and jointly on the lyrics, which I'd never done before. That was a completely new experience for me. And Amanda is an exquisite musician as well, which I must say I am not. And that really that just made for like a lot of magic to happen.
Cool. Um, you guys are often considered a psychedelic band, and I believe, that you're a psychedelic band in addition to being experimental and other things too. Have psychedelic substances played a role in your music?
No, no,
No?
absolutely not. I mean, I totally agree. We are a psychedelic band, 100%. But I want nothing to cloud, the creative process. I want to, sort of like no more than orange juice and a bowl of blueberries, because I want to be 100% focused on what we put out there. It's just isn't who we are. It's about the music, not about the yeah
Okay.
substances.
Um, which of your albums are you most proud of?
Well, I mean, I know everybody says that, but I've got to say the last one I'm really, really proud of. It just felt like such a, I don't know, a surging upwards what we do. I just don't, I feel there's no weakness there. There's no like moment you think, oh, we should have edited it there or something. It feels very, very expansive, yet precise at the same moment. I mean, inevitably there are things you like more than others. I think probably I'm not completely crazy about the things we did in the years maybe 2002 to 2009. I think there are good things in there, but I think there's more patchy. I think from 2010, I really liked the direction from there. I really enjoyed that. I think a lot of the 90s was good. 80s was mixed. It's like always different feelings about different albums. I mean, from the 80s, I'd say Any Day Now is probably, up there, although maybe The Golden Age is my favorite from the 80s.
Mhm.
Yeah, it changes. Uh,
Yeah. All right. How do audiences differ between Europe, North America, and elsewhere?
um, hmm, what an interesting one. I mean, in Europe, the audiences differ from country to country, inevitably. We tend these days, it's more like a similar reaction wherever we go, simply because in Europe we tend to play like the major cities like Paris and Budapest and Prague, and we don't tend to go into like to the smaller places. There's some sort of cities in Germany maybe, but in America, of course, we play 28 different towns and cities. So, but mostly it's pretty even. They're very, very respectful audiences, and generally very appreciative.
Okay. Um, what else would you like to accomplish in your career?
Oh, that's difficult to say. I'd like to go to Japan one day. Never did that. Um, Beyond that, just to just to be able to, like, when it finishes, like, to be able to say we got halfway there.
What do you mean?
The music, of course.
To say that you got halfway there?
Yeah, because you'll never get all the way there. If you get all the way there, that's the time to stop. I don't,
Right.
I don't intend to stop until I drop.
I
But
see.
so like that will be in some respects. If you got all the way there, like ticking all the boxes with the music there, you think we can't go any further. I would have to stop, and I'd be kind of sad about that.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm good actually, Jason. That's
All right. Well, thanks so much for taking time out of your day. I really appreciate it.
oh, thank you.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Nice meeting you.
You too. Bye.
Take care. Bye.